In terms of using agencies and recruitment suppliers, I've never had an issue with that. I view them very much as a strategic part of our recruitment process. There are times we certainly go to use our recruitment resourcing partners, but there are also times when we don't. I think it depends on what the recruitment need is. For me, there is no single solution. We don't say we always do it internally, and we don't say we will always use external providers.
In terms of, I guess, thinking about what recruitment agencies could do to improve their service, the most effective use of agencies that I've been aware of, whether again that's agency side or working with the in-house team here, is those agencies that really understand not so much the role and the role spec, but actually the organisation that's recruiting into that role.
We're always going to use recruitment agencies. They play a really important part of our supply chain. Often it is the difficult to fill vacancies, but it's important for us to maintain really close and good relationships with recruiters. So when we do have that difficult role to fill, we're able to go to these organisations and ask them to provide candidates. I also think that at a more senior level, we will still engage more in the niche specialist areas at the exec level, for example, whether it's with a search firm or with certain contingency recruiters that are able to provide specialist needs for us.
I still hold recruitment agencies in high regard. I see them as recruitment partners, and I'm fortunate enough to work with a number of partners who offer us a very, very good service. So moving into next year, I'm actively trying to recruit myself more and more, but at the same time, I'm pleased to say that we've got some good partners on board who we're going to be using as well.
I think recruitment agencies in the current recruitment environment still have a massive part to play in businesses being able to employ the correct members of staff. I think where they add real value is in particular niche areas where it's very hard for an in-house team to maintain a credible network of candidates. I think the ones that we get the most value out of and we want to continue working with in the future are the ones who have really understood what we're about as a business. They partner with us as a true partnership, and they supply us with candidates who are 100% relevant to the needs that we have.
When any good in-house person thinks about 100% direct sourcing, I think that's going to be a challenge at any point. And actually in some cases where you have niche sectors or niche skills, it's much better use of your time to go with a specialist rather than your 360 recruiter or your sourcer trying to focus in an area that they have little expertise in. I do think there's always going to be a place for that.
I think there's still a role for a good agency. I think it is very much around the hard to fill, hard to find areas, or it's the areas where a more in-depth sourcing solution such as talent pooling, networking, own database searching isn't viable. I think it's about making a smart decision about what's worth investing your time as an in-house recruiter. There's no point building an extensive talent pool for a position that you recruit one every 18 months to 2 years. That would be a classic role. You would partner with one or two specialist agencies in that area and work within that relationship.
Using agencies is important. It's one of the tough things I sometimes have to tell to my in-house recruiters. The agency is a channel to market. It is a channel that needs to be managed, and it is a channel that has to be used. And sometimes, just for time and efficiency, it is best to go out to an agency and make sure they are in the right position to find the right people for us. Because we're a professional services organisation, so we need the right people in the right place at the right time. So I have to look at whether taking 3 months to hire a patent attorney and saving £3,000 is more effective than using an agency paying £10,000 but having them in a month. I want my agencies to have that unique selling point, that specialism, that unknown market that I would never be able to develop.